Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am finally here for the finale of Vinland Saga Season 2. And it feels a little bit surreal, and I want to try to nail that down. I woke up this morning and I knew that I was finally ready to record. I wasn't able to last week. I got sick right after Thanksgiving. Classic. But I woke up this morning and I knew that I was ready to record Vinland. And I was filled with the absence of something that I didn't notice until it was gone. And that thing is fear. A particular type of tension that I've held throughout this season of Vinland Saga. A fear of what comes next. A constant waiting for the hammer to fall. And it's not until this episode that I understood it, even a little bit, that I recognized it even a little bit. But now I do, and now I want to focus on it for just a moment. Because it's been created in me, and it's in response to the situation that the characters are in. Every day, when I wake up for Vinland, I expect the potential for the worst possible things to happen to our characters outside of their control. For the entirety of this season, our characters have been bound to some kind of a fate. And thematically it feels like fate, but when we boil it down, it's bad people who have power over you. Even not bad people, just people who have power over you. Our characters have been many things over the course of their journeys, but they've spent the last chunk of those journeys as slaves, bound completely to the whims of those they are in thrall to. And that extends backward in time for Thorfinn. His whole time with Askeladd, he was bound to something. His actions, his ability to choose his agency, taken away from him. The roads available to him narrowed and narrowed and narrowed down to the point where he couldn't really go anywhere. Where he was just stuck and as though without agency you just have to wait for others to decide things for you. And this morning I woke up for Vinland Saga and I wasn't afraid of that. I'm sure that there are many torments available in the wide open world, but the world is wide and open, and that's the difference. Our characters have the ocean before them. They're not bound to a place, to a man, to a name, to a country, to a kingdom, to a sword. They're bound to each other. And they get to decide where that unit goes next. Freedom. And freedom from fear. Not from the fear of the unknown, but from the fear of the guaranteed, the fear of the malicious, the fear that you can't escape from because you're tied down. You can't escape from because you're in a cage. And it made me realize, I think, that almost anything else I can face, almost anything else I can stomach. I've been grappling recently with my own squeamishness, with my own feelings toward uncomfortable things, toward the potential of my own mortality. We watched some things in Ashton Joe that involved torment at the hands of the malicious. I don't know how strong I am, but I have an inkling that I could survive almost any of that if I had some agency, some choice in the matter. If I could choose my path and choose to take on all the torment and all the suffering that it will bring, then I'm golden. I'm good to go. That's my suffering. I chose it. But when it's out of your control, and this is just in my mind, and in the stories that I've seen and in the pieces of the real world that I've had a fractional view of, when you don't have any choice in the matter, when it's out of your control, when it's inflicted upon you by something else that's cruel, whether that's fate or more likely a person, that's much harder to survive. And yet, our characters have done so. Einar and Thorfinn, day after day, have lived on. And Thorfinn has lived as so many people now, and so many of them have been under the thumb of someone else. Who will he be when he has the power to choose entirely? Today I drew what will probably be the last drawing that I do with graphite for a while. I bought myself a little gift and I purchased myself some Sakura Micron pens and some alcohol markers, and I'm going to start to learn those as a medium. Today, in pencil, I drew our characters at the prow of a boat headed off into the sunset, because it gathers the themes together. Here they are, charting a new course forward toward distant lands, on empty, wide-open seas, toward the unknown, toward a rumor of a place that maybe for some short period of time they could escape the ravages of war and slavery and found a peaceful paradise. We leave Canute behind to found his bloody paradise behind us, and we do so with an unexpected respect, almost a belief in him, in his other way, in his different way, not ours, but his. And in doing that, we kind of affirm the power of choice. The ability to turn away from him and say, I see what you've chosen, I don't agree with it, I choose differently, but I'll let you have your choice. I can't stop you. And even if I could, I don't know that I would want to. You're driven by something. Have your choice. I'll take mine. It presents a different way. A way forward that doesn't require holding others under your thumb or waiting for the thumb to press down and crush you in turn. It presents another way. Over the weeks and months that we've been watching Vinland Saga, and it's years now between the two seasons, I have changed. And this story has had a part to play in that changing. Early on in this season, I was worrying desperately about self-defense and violence. My attitude toward those has changed. I don't know that it's coherent, but it has changed. This show is potent. It's made of potent things woven together with potent ideas, and the finished product that comes out of it it's interesting. All art has the potential, I think, to alter the viewer, to force a restructuring as you work yourself around it and try to understand it from its different angles. That forces a restructuring sometimes, and I think if you're open to it and willing to engage on the art's terms, willing to step away from yourself a little bit, you can become a different self. And there's nothing more, I think, thematically relevant in observing a journey of transformation than to transform alongside it. So, as potentially the greatest praise that I could give to a piece of media that's about transformation, I have transformed alongside Vinland Saga. and will probably continue to do so with it as a touch point. Because before it, I didn't have a perfect visual of the pit. Before it, I didn't have a perfect archetypal example of choosing the impossible. But now, with Thorfinn choosing pacifism, choosing peace in the face of inevitable violence, I do. Now, with Thorfinn falling down into the pit to meet his father and the warrior culture that's birthed him, now I do. Now I have those things. And they will continue to affect me. I will continue to include them in my discussions. This will continue to be deeply important to me. So to everyone who a long time ago voted for Vinland Saga and decided that this was a cool piece of media that they'd like to hear my thoughts on, I am grateful. And to Makoto Yukimura, who wrote this story, and we've said it a few times, but who wrote this story to be useful to his children, I must be endlessly grateful. As a child who needs things written by others, who needs things to learn from, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to an old man for planting a tree that I can enjoy the shade of. Because while it has unsettled me many times, it has given me a comfortable place to learn and grow and exist. Some of the lessons that are in Vinland Saga are lessons that I don't think you can learn without dying. Like, you go out in the world without those lessons learned, and the only way you're going to get those lessons learned has like a 95% chance of killing you. Because you have to get up so close to terror and violence and destruction and war. How are you going to do those in a real world context and be safe? You can't. And here is the value of our media. Here is the value of a genius who puts it together and puts it on a page. And then a group of intermediary geniuses who take that page and bring it to life onto a screen and give them voices and give them music that creates emotion behind them and turn them into an experience that drills its way behind your eyes and changes you. How do we do that? Thank God we do that. Because otherwise I'd have to go and die to learn these things. I'd rather learn them without dying and then go apply them to the world. Maybe make it better. That's the craziest thing that Vinland says. I think it says it. It says that you're connected to everything else. It says that if you change, the world changes. It says that if you change the right way, that might force everyone around you to change. That might force everyone around them to change. And the ripple effect that that has is indeterminate. It's unclear how much you can create, how much you can change, and how much you could destroy. On the flip side, how much horror you could bring with one stroke of a blade, with one choice, with one word, with one decision. One violent act could take you and your whole world to hell. And one peaceful act could lift you and your whole world up out of hell and into a heaven that you couldn't have imagined. Ketil's farm is the proving ground for this idea, sort of. A couple of choices, and the farm descends into inevitable doom. A couple of other choices, and the farm returns to paradise. And the people can work it. So what choice do you make in the present? In every moment? How can you choose paths, many paths, every path that leans infinitesimally toward the better, toward the good? Vinland says it's important to. I agree. And I'm grateful that it says that. So here we come to the end that doesn't feel like an end because our last episode's already felt like an end. We put Arnheid to rest, we said our goodbyes, and we set off. Now where are we going? We have one more episode and I don't understand why. Vinland, I trust you. Prove to me that this episode is necessary. Show me why it's here. Tell me where we're going. Point the way so that for the months or years that it takes in between the production of this season and the next, I have a journey in mind that I'm waiting for. Point the way. And for those of you who've come along with me so far, come along with me for this last episode. Thanks so much for joining me for this. There will be a poll on the Patreon soon. Let's get into episode 24. Home. I've got the episode up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There'll be 2 versions as always. Picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count you down, and there's no early access, just access to a poll on the Patreon. Beep beep timer. The open sea. Oh yeah, are we going back? Home is the title. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the flip side. Hmm. But mostly. Which limits the population. It was a long time ago, man. I think more than that. He always looks so surprised. Other Thorfinn. My dude needs to get his thyroid checked. I hadn't even considered that they could exist. They still exist? Wait. My mind is being blown. Oh, fuck. I feel like I should have watched episode 1 of season 1. Just to... But in a different sense, having a lack of memory of this is good. Yeah. Hey? Dude, it's been a while. Yeah! I was 6! That is his sister, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, amazing. I love her. Holy shit. Holy shit, that's her. She was so young. Oh, this might go badly. Yeah. She may not remember. Oh, fuck. Whoa, he didn't die, though. It's a great... This is so not the expected response. Oh, she fully believed. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. No, wait. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have real ID. Are we gonna cut to it being figured out? I guess not. Maybe not. God, this being a comedy is weird. And they've changed so much, like, yeah. Your mom hasn't. Was that Rotoad? That was so strange. Damn, Thorfinn. You're really kind of a bro to Thorfinn. Wait. We can't actually use a fake Thorfinn. He really needs his thyroid checked. Holy shit. That's the same house, isn't it? Holy shit. You have nephews and nieces? He's ready for her to not remember. But she remembers. Yeah. There's so much harm, you fucking dick. She knows. Wagamusuko. That's true. Oh, fuck. Chills. Absolute chills. Because he's finally a warrior. God damn. Thank you, Leaf. Holy shit. Your fucking life's work, man. Kind of. God, you look so much like him. Holy shit. You got a brother-in-law. Or... Actually, who are you? I don't know who you are. I don't remember. I'm sorry. What, you think you're not welcome here? Hi. Hi, sister. Ma's so fast and strong. Oh, holy shit. Hi, sister. You fucking idiot, you should have said so. uh, what the fuck? Why isn't she the warrior? Oh, the kid's smiling. Yep, yep, yep. Not like that. 100 blows from somebody else? Sure. 100 blows from Ilva? Not surviving. It's hilarious. This is hilarious. Ah! What the fuck? Familiar. Will we have a moment with his father somehow? Good God. What a story we've experienced. Families. Lives to live. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you, Mother. This is not a small undertaking. We can't just head off in a boat. Let's go, Leaf. Let's freaking go. You've gathered allies over your time, man. No, he's got one last journey. And he doesn't plan to come back. That's so cute. Oh, fuck. Yeah, what of Tor's? Will he just be a ghost in the episode? Yeah. At the future. His shoulders were so broad and still they couldn't hold back the past. But he stopped so many of the cycles. And he managed to protect this place, like, in the end, they're still here. Oh, fuck. From one grave to another. You could say that. Now you're gazing out at that distant thing. It's like it's you. Otto. To Vinland. A faraway place. We're doing this sequence like we did at the end of the first season? It's them. When she was a child, when Ylva? It's a young Leaf? Holy fuck! We're not going back in time to tell their story, are we? Are we? Is that what we're doing? Is that what Vinland is gonna be? No, fuck you. No. No, keep us pointed toward the future. Yeah. Okay. Wow, Thorfinn. I guess I need a haircut. I'm just making a joke. And the horizon calls. Work. I asked for the show to prove that it needed this episode. I think that does it. Oh, whoa. Reunions and returns. A shadow of the past like a ghost that comes and lives again through Thorfinn. And that seems to be the, forgive my almost pun, the DNA of the episode, the root of it. There's a heredity present here, and it's present in seeing him in his father. And then in this moment that we have where she sits next to Ylva, holding Thor's sword, and remembers the journey that they took, fleeing the Jomsvikings toward a distant future. And it's that memory that guides her to say what she says to Thorfinn, which strikes me as far and away the most interesting thing to me. There are two centers that are really stunning in the episode, and both of them involve his mother. She says, "Do as you must." Tors and I fled to this very island from Jomsborg. She sees, and we've got this focus on eye lines and brow ridges in the episode that's really striking. As characters look off across the distance, we follow their eyes. And it serves to glue everything together. Like, the witnessing that the parents have done of the world informs their decisions about what to do next, and then that informs where Thorfinn is looking next. In holding this zoom on her eye, we're saying everything that I've seen in the past leads me to this decision now. And I see it clearly. I am in wonder and awe at this thread through the episode. You must be there to welcome those people to a land of peace that you build. That is your life's purpose. Thorfinn, son of Thors. Oh, it's poetry. It's laden with so much intent. That is your life's purpose, Thorfinn, son of Thors. And I want to focus in on this as an idea, just a little bit, just for a moment. First, the idea that your life might have a purpose and you just need to find it is incredibly powerful, and one that I think we have lost in general. The idea that you might have a purpose, a thing that you're here for, It's a really old mystical idea, and it's one that I think inspired people for thousands of years to believe that in fulfilling something and sacrificing themselves toward it, they were fulfilling some grander purpose for all of people, for all of humanity, or for God, for whatever it was, a purpose for the spirits, for their ancestors. And here we managed to make it for all of those. We managed to make it non-denominational and kind of it's secular. There's no God influence on it. It's linked to your ancestral heritage. It's linked to who Tor's was, your parents. But it's you and it's your choice. And I want to hone in on this idea. Who you are and what you're here for matters. And we live in a world that says the opposite. That's almost purpose-built to drive that idea out of you. Who you are and what you do doesn't matter. You're a cog in a machine. You're replaceable. We say in one breath that you're divinely inspired and your soul is unique and blah, blah, blah. But then at the other side, you're worth $20 an hour and we can replace you anytime we want. We don't live in a world that treats human beings, human spirits, as though they have a purpose. Like, if we did, we would treat children really differently. We'd be like, hey, kid, welcome to this planet. What are you here for? You're the most powerful thing in the world. There are hundreds of thousands of other kids just like you, but you're the most powerful one in the world. The most interesting, most brilliant, most beautiful thing in the world. What are you here for? Instead of saying, here's what you're here for, you're here to work. You're here to make money for me. You're here to fight in a war. You're here to do this. You're here to do that. You're here to care for the elderly. You're here to do... No. You find your purpose. And then society approves of it. That's what this scene is. You found your purpose? Good job, kid. Go do it. And Ylva's surprised by this, but she shouldn't be. Because this comes from the wisdom. This is the wisdom of the elderly. And it's what should be there, and it's what's wrapped up in this moment of the eye, of the brow line, of the looking. I've seen enough of the world to know that when a child finds their fucking purpose, everything changes. So here you go, kiddo. Grow. Go grow. I'm not gonna fuck with you. God, can you imagine our world if we did that? And it won't work for every kid. There are gonna be lots of kids who like, my purpose is to survive. My purpose is to survive, and I'm just chilling. But for those who could change the world, this idea... You might have a reason for being here, and all you have to do is treat the world with that attitude, with the curiosity of like, hey, why am I here? Maybe you'll find it. Maybe you'll find it. So Thorfinn comes and he tells them his story, and they're moved by it. And then he tells them what he wants to do. An insane, crazy idea. And the wisest person in the room says, that's not crazy. That's what your father and I did, and that's what brought us this peace here. So you go ahead and you do what you're going to do, because there are going to be more people like us, and they're going to need you. Go chart a course. Go build a place for us to land. The trust, the love, the belief. Not the fickle, fragile thing like a belief in God or belief in a faraway king. Belief in a person. Belief in a person who's sitting right across from you. Belief that he's like his father who did great things. In a strange way, I'm simultaneously, like, more struck and less by this episode, and I have such a strange relationship to some parts of it because I am also estranged from my parents. I think I need to go and talk to my mom. What a beautiful episode. And what a stunning moment. To be joined on this cliffside by the spirit of your father and the spirit of your young self. Looking out again over those waters, but this time seeing. This time seeing. This time knowing all that he has here. Not trying to run away, knowing that he's giving up everything to reach forward towards something else. Our actual arrival is full of things that I don't really know, that I need to go back and probably reread the first chapter. And so it feels like returning to a place that's at once familiar but strange. Meeting people whose faces perhaps I should recognize, but I don't. What an odd thing. To be ripped away from your home. It affirms so deeply the tragedy that this world produces. And I think in showing us, as Thorfinn says in his own words, in showing us this peaceful, warm home, this family with grandchildren, these kids out playing, with the luxury of playing war, not preparing for it. This is what we're fighting to protect. The fact that people can live in peace. That's why we have to give it up. That's why we have to sacrifice. There are so many little moments in the episode. But this one where she calls Einar brother and says, transitively, that makes you my son. I've had a number of families do that to me. And I've never known what to do when they do that. I've just tried to be a good friend to the person who was my friend, and then their family tries to make me family. I don't know what to say about it, except that I relate. And I'm really grateful to mostly the older women who've invited me into their homes to be a part of their family, especially during holidays or during times of connection. It's meant a lot. But here for Einar, I can't know how much it means to him. He watched his family be lost. Now he finds another one. A brother in Thorfinn. A family that's not his family, but welcomes him nonetheless. It's incredible. It's a beautiful place that Torres has built, that his family has built. This kind of place, this is what people can do. This is what people can do. This is what we're here for. The little visual run-through of our life as Thorfinn. From childhood, a childhood filled with knives and blood, an adolescence as a slave, and then the becoming of a man. It moves them. It moves them. And then, at the end, at the very end, we tie it all together. Heredity, generations, the efforts of the past and the choices being made and how they've shaped the present. Flashes of a young leaf, flashes of a young Ashalad. Right? Putting on his sword? And out of that swirling tumult of all of these people, all of these souls and lives lived, our new Thorfinn strides forward, ready to greet the day, ready to look out across the waves and set sail into tomorrow. And we with him. Tomorrow awaits. It's on the other side of the horizon. All you need is the courage to step onto the boat. What a journey, y'all. Wow. A journey across time and space, a journey into the depths and the darkest depths of the human spirit, a journey through fire and blood, and out the other side into an open, wide sea that offers choice and agency and truth and potential. The future calls, and it does, it calls, it asks for you to come and uncover it. The muse sings to us and sings through us. Explore. The world's arms are open. So we leave Vinland Saga here, on the cusp of a journey. I think that's a good place to be. I don't know what the future holds as much, and neither does anyone else. I am deeply grateful for pieces of media, compounded information that helps me navigate the uncertainty of the future. Vinland Saga has changed me in ways that I find useful, ways that I think will help me be more resilient and more capable and more willing to sacrifice the right things for the right things. As I stride into the future, I want to be able to shape my world, the world around me, and I want to do that in a way that doesn't corrupt me as a person, as a spirit. I think that this show has done a better job, perhaps, than any other at drawing out some of the dangers that inhabit the path forward, the universal path forward, the path of human, the path of living, thinking creature in a world of living, thinking creatures who kill each other. How do you move forward? I think this show, in the absence of an obvious, consistent world for everybody, gives me the tools to chart my own path forward. And I think that's the most valuable thing that I've ever experienced. And so, again, to bookmark this, I will say, Makoto Yukimura, thank you for writing this story. It has saved a piece of me, and I think it will continue to save pieces of me into the future. And I know that it has changed lives for many others. So here at the end, I must just be in awe of that and let that serve as a guiding light for me, because like Thorfinn learns that his father before him built a little land of peace, and he finds at the end a gratitude and respect for it. I see Yukimura and so many other creatives as producing little islands of intellectual brilliance and thoughtful, humanistic peace. Islands where I can learn and live for a while. And I am inspired to venture forth into the wide open sea and find my own and create my own. And I don't know what those will look like. I've been doing the journeying part for a while, but this has altered my course. This show has changed my direction. And I think that's, well, if its premise is right, if the premise that I've extracted from it, that you changing in the right way can change everyone around you, and that can change everyone around them, and in very short order that can ripple across the world and change everything for everyone, then how much change can a piece of media that reaches the minds of millions produce? It's indeterminate. I don't know. I think it's directly related to how willing people are to hear it, to engage with it. May I never forget what I've learned here in Vinland Saga. That I don't need enemies. That there might be a third way. And that there might be a first principle to reach for. To avoid having to reach for something else. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's made the whole thing worthwhile. Much love. See you in whatever show we watch next. Or in the next season of Vinland Saga. Much love. Peace.